A boomerang, as shown in the figure below, is made out of 3 identical small quadrants and 1 big quadrant. The radius of each small quadrant is 2 cm and the radius of the big quadrant is 6 cm. For each of the following, use the calculated value of pi to find the perimeter of the shaded figure, correct to 1 decimal place. The area of the shaded figure, correct to 1 decimal place. So according to the question, there are actually 3 identical small quadrants. So let's identify the small quadrants, which is actually here. Okay. And 1 big quadrant. So the big quadrant is pretty obvious. It's this big quadrant. The radius of each small quadrant is 2 cm. So we know from here that this is 2 cm and 2 cm, 2 cm. And the radius of the big quadrant is 6 cm. So we know from here that this is 6 cm. So the question is asking us to find the perimeter of the shaded figure. In order to find the perimeter of the shaded figure, we will need to find the circumference of the big quadrant plus the circumference of the 3 small quadrants. So let's start off with finding circumference of big quadrant. So since it's a quadrant, it's 1/4 times pi times diameter. Pi times diameter is the formula for finding circumference. And the diameter, so 1/4 times pi times the diameter, which will be 12, because 6 is the radius. So in order to find the diameter, we need to times 2. And that will give us 9.4247. Next, I will find the circumference of the 3 small quadrants. So circumference of 3 small quadrant is equals to 3/4 times pi times the diameter again, which is 4. Since the radius is 2, the diameter is 2 times, which is 4. So I can do a cancellation. I will get 9.4247 cm as well. In order to find the perimeter, I simply add both numbers together. So perimeter is equal to 9.4247 times 2, and that will give me 18.849. So I need to round it off to 1 decimal place, so my answer will be 18.8 cm. This is for A. Part B asks for the area of the shaded figure. So to find the area of the shaded figure, we simply need to use the area of the big quadrant minus of the area of the 3 small quadrants as well as the squares that are inside. So let's draw in the squares. If you look at the squares, you can see that it's actually a 2 by 2 cm square. So this is the radius of the quadrant, which is also 2. So this is 4, 4, and 4. So let's start off by finding area of big quadrant. And that will give us 1/4 times pi times radius square. And 1/4 times pi times 6 square. That is 28.274 cm square. Now pi r square is actually the formula for finding area, but since we are finding only the area of a quadrant, we need to times it by a quarter. So next we need to find the area of 3 small quadrants. So same thing, it will be 3/4 to represent 3 quadrants times pi times the radius square, which is 2 square. that will give us 9.4247 cm square. So to find the shaded area, we simply use the area of the big quadrant, which is 28.274, minus of the area of the three small quadrants, which is 9.4247, as well as minus the three small squares. So the three small squares have a total area of 4 times 3, which is 12. Which equals to 6.849. And since the question again wants us to correct it to one decimal place, it will be 6.8 cm square.